We will continue studies of the new syllables that will be tested next year. I will begin with questions on style. Remember that the prescribed texts in the new syllables have as the main intention to test students' ability to be able to read and understand the language and to use it effectively. Question number 1. Using any three prescribed texts, show how irony is used to highlight things. This question is on style and irony. Students are expected to bring out ironical situations and show how they help to highlight the various themes in the text. In the Swamp Dwellers, the Kadir is supposed to be the guarantor of the livelihood of the community through the sacrifices that the people give to the serpent through him. Igwezu, like all other residents of the community, has given all the sacrifices required to guarantee the success of his marriage and to protect his crops. Ironically, the Kadir feeds fat on these sacrificial gifts, leaving the serpent hungry. The consequence is that the village crops are destroyed, and Igwezu also loses the Sala to his brother Awuchike in the city, highlighting hypocrisy and abuse of power. Secondly, Alu believes that Awuchike is dead because he has spent many years in the city without a word back home or neither helping his family. Ironically, he is alive and a thriving business merchant in the city, highlighting neglect. Thirdly, Igwezu leaves the village where there is abject poverty for the city where it is believed that there is prosperity or greener pastures. He also meets his brother whom he expects to get help from because he is a wealthy timber merchant. Ironically, he is ruined in the city and by his own twin brother, highlighting conflicts, hypocrisy, and ingratitude. He comes back home, losing his wife, and to meet his farm that has been completely destroyed. In addition, the beggar is blind, yet he does not want to rely on charity for a living like many of the beggars do in the big cities. He wants to work using his hands, and he has made a pledge to travel only where there is water, where he can use his hands to work on the land. Ironically, it is the beggar who realizes that the Kadir is a fraud by detecting the bulk from his voice. His searching questions raise his interest in Igwezu to realize that the Kadir is a dubious person who has been using the god to live a comfortable life while the other people live in poverty, thereby leading to the confrontation between Igwezu and the Kadir. The discovery and the confrontation highlights hypocrisy and conflict respectively. In The Old Man and the Sea, Santiago wins the hand game in Casablanca against the strongest man on deck from Cienfuegos. Everyone knows that this will be a one-way match, which had lasted for many hours and with a change of referees. Ironically, Santiago, to everyone's surprise, wins the hand game, highlighting endurance and determination. Santiago spends many days without a catch, but he goes to sea regularly. until the fact that he is declared a Salau. But this does not deter him. On the 85th day, he decides to sail deep into the sea and catches a huge marlin. Ironically, on his homeward journey, he loses the marlin to the sharks and returns home only with the skeleton, highlighting faith and success in failure. Nevertheless, the big catch restores his lost pride. Next, everything about Santiago is old, patched, especially his dresses and sails, but his eyes are full of life and as blue as the sea, highlighting hope. This is the reason why he goes to sea daily despite returning home empty-handed. In twilight of misty foliage, Mponwe is admitted into the Advanced School of Administration, given the necessary documents or certificates which are fabricated in the nearby country, and a conducive environment is created to cover up his weaknesses by his uncle. Ironically, Mponwe does not even have the required age. Neither does he even have the first school living certificate, highlighting favoritism and corruption. Reverend Rotberger is a clergyman, and we expect him to be concerned with spiritual things. Ironically, he is a womanizer who has fathered 4 carbon print children with 4 different women. When he visits Sedeka, he focuses on her buttocks, and the reverend sisters in the parish are afraid to be in his presence alone, highlighting moral decadence. Amy catches his wife with Inspector Avey on his matrimonial bed making love. He seizes the officer's gun and uniform, but he is persuaded to return them back with the promise to be given a compensation in order that the case or the problem should be settled. Ironically, when he is called to come and get his compensation in Sargem police station, he is arrested, hastily judged, and jailed on charges of violence on an officer, highlighting corrupt malpractices in the society. During the consultation talk in Bakken, Mponwe and Reverend Rotberger add names of non-Sambisans on the list of Sambi's delegation in order to sway the decision in favor of Sargem. Ironically, this is discovered by the people of Sambis, and Bimai threatens to withdraw the whole delegation from the consultation. Mponwe promises to give him money, but he refuses, highlighting bribery and hypocrisy. Next, the church is supposed to be a place of sanctuary and safety, but it is a place where evil thrives. There is elimination of members like the CYF president of Ntamalung and orders given by Reverend Rotberger to the hoodlums to eliminate Cardinal Mpochweng, highlighting hypocrisy and evil. In addition, the church connives with the administration to take away the administrative seat from Sambis to Sargem, highlighting discrimination, manipulation, and corruption. In unanswered cries, Makala is very educated and knows about the risk or health hazard concerning female circumcision, but she believes in the power of the Bondo spirits. Ironically, she is poised to subject Olabisi to such gruesome pain and take her to the Bondo camp as promised to the Digba Sowe, highlighting superstition. Olabisi escapes from her mother and stepfather to the forest hoping that she is safe and will find a safe passage to flee back to Freetown. Ironically, she ends up in the Bondo camp where she is almost circumcised, and she witnesses the ordeal of circumcision seen from the young girl who tries to free herself while parts of her body are being mutilated, highlighting determination. Makalai promises Pa Amadu some gifts if he finds Olabisi and brings her to be taken to the Bondo camp. Ironically, Pa Amadu meets Olabisi in the forest. He receives some money from her and he helps her to escape back to Freetown, highlighting bribery. Lastly, Ade Jones does not want to commit to his relationship with Oya because he does not have a permanent job. She also accuses him of womanizing, which he claims that some of the women are just his friends. Ironically, Oya has been footing all the bills in the house for the previous months, highlighting love and dedication. Continue to use this opportunity to start preparing for the exam come next year.